traveled throughout Florida and Georgia, showing his passion for motorsports, including drag racing the '63 Corvette he built.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. So we were looking at a launch today, NROL-70 aboard a Delta Heavy, Delta IV Heavy, which is my favorite rocket, one of my favorite rockets. And we're just kind of waiting on it. It was originally supposed to go live at 1 o'clock. And then they pushed it back to 2 and then pushed it back to 2:15. There is a weather threshold violation that is possible. That's what we're looking at right now. So there's 70% chance of weather constraints, violating weather constraints. So that's our concern. That's why it's been delayed. They have just tweeted out that they anticipate a liftoff at 2:45 p.m. Eastern. So we're about 20 minutes out from that. So we'll look at a couple things and then we'll catch their coverage. United Launch Alliance has coverage. They are holding at T-4 minutes. And actually, well, they're not showing it right now. So skip that. Not going to show that. So we'll take a look at a couple things first. So this is a rocket. So they have the RS-68 engines, 3 of them on the first stage. So they have a first stage. They have 2 side boosters on that first stage main. There's an interstage connector to the ever reliable and always awesome RL-10 engine that is on that cryogenic second stage. The Vulcan, which will be on the Centaur, which was the one that took Pigron and failed. And then we have the NROL-70 spacecraft, which is a National Reconnaissance Office launch. So it is a classified payload, so we will not get video after they are orbital. And that would be housed in the 5-meter payload fairing. Now, it'd be interesting to watch, because there has been some indication that certain providers have been sneaking on additional hardware, because they're trying to hide the fact that rocket launches are very public. They're trying to hide the fact that they're taking up classified payloads, but this one's classified from the beginning. So that'd be interesting to see if we get any video feed, because there were some people on the internet that found out that there was some stuff going up that wasn't on the manifest. So very interesting. So here's a look at kind of our mission profile today. So booster jettison happens about here out in the Atlantic Ocean. Booster engine cutoff, center booster SEP, main engine start, and payload fairing jettison. So this is kind of your cone and into launch with visibility from the Space Coast. So that's kind of where we're at. Like I said, we're holding at T-4, waiting for weather to give us some indication of what's going on. So we'll catch up with them. I'll turn on the volume and we'll see if we can learn anything new. And I'll keep looking in the background to see if we can't figure out what their plan is. So, the last update we got was T-40 or at 42 minutes ago. There was a T-4 minute sync for the target launch time. So they are in a standard hold. The T-4 hold is built into the Delta Heavy, and United Launch Alliance as a provider. So that is that's kind of where we're at. So let's see if we can get any indication of their thoughts on this mission. So
Final
we'll join
flight
them.
of the Delta IV Heavy rocket carries NROL-70. capping
This is
off
not
the
Russian. This
incredible
is
legacy
United
of
Launch
this
Alliance.
program.
This is United Launch Alliance. This is the last flight of Delta IV Heavy. So this is Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and other smaller providers. So this is the legacy defense contractors, and this is the Delta IV Heavy. This will be the last flight of the Delta IV Heavy when they switch over completely to the Vulcan Centaur. So one of the cool things about this, before we get back into this, the outside, because of the hydrogen and because of the way that the engines light, the outside actually catches fire, and you can see the flames lick up the side of the rocket. They're really cool to see at night. I've been able to see one in person at night, and they are fantastic to watch because the flames go up the side and actually burn that orange paint off the side at times. It's one of the few like rocket models that I own because I think it's a really cool concept and a really cool designed vehicle. So, but yeah, we'll join them and see what they're at. So.
Into space. It's just an honor. There's no other way to say it.
Look at what we as part of the team have done to improve life on Earth. All things to be extremely proud of.
The first launch, you kind of kept your fingers crossed and your toes crossed. We all stood out in the main part of the factory here and watched it, and it's just something that you do and say whatever makes you comfortable for that very first launch.
Watching the Delta IV Heavy right outside the door of the Delta Operations Center and feeling the vibration and just amazement.
I was at the launch site in the dock for the NROL-70 mission, and the experience when that thing lifted off of the acoustics, hitting that facility and literally seeing the windows flexing from the acoustics of that liftoff was something I will never forget.
I've been down to the launch site, been on the pad, been on cranes up and down a heavy vehicle, been able to support on console, and been part of the day of launch activities. So I've seen it from a unique perspective. Those memories will always stick out.
We took a lot of lessons from Delta. Aluminum skins, machined, brake formed, welded together with friction stir welding. The first time we used that was on the Delta IV program.
One lesson learned from Delta IV that will stick for our future launches is our record of mission success and our focus on mission success, making sure that all of our launches accomplished what we wanted and delivered the payload for our customers.
The teamwork that we built across all the different suppliers and across the program itself. It's a really complex vehicle, and so being able to bring that whole team together and deliver Delta for that many years has been brought over into the Vulcan program and will continue to live on.
Whether it be in the design center, the operations center, the production center, we're all a big team, and those teams work together, and it's magic.
Launch conductor is only one little cog in the whole process. This is a team sport, and the team has done nothing but a phenomenal job.
Taking pride in your work and treating everything as if it's the most important job you'll ever do is something that I will keep with me for the rest of my career.
Well, it's bittersweet, of course. We all thought we could do this a lot longer because we love it so much.
It's been a wonderful rocket to work on over these years, and I'm going to miss it.
It is the most amazing rocket I could ever imagine, this Delta IV Heavy.
I'm just proud to have been a part of this team and was able to better my career by working alongside an amazing team.
The legacy of Delta will live on in the Vulcan rocket and in the people that make it a reality and have taken the best of what Delta has accomplished and carry that forward into the future.
L minus 14 minutes. House gas established scan pattern 140. Roger. VSE, verified base bending moment. Instrumentation is active and data is valid.
BBM is fully mission capable. Recommend placard 6 alpha for launch.
Roger. OS, set BBM active.
Roger.
With this launch, we are also remembering an NRO teammate. Here is Mission Director Colonel Eric Zarybaninski.
This is the MD. This afternoon's NROL-70 launch is dedicated to the memory of Colonel Edward Chip Zakraszewski. Chip dedicated his career to the advancement of space launch and to the success of NRO missions. He was a fierce advocate and leader for the Office of Space Launch and in the broader space launch community. Chip was the OSL director for the first Delta IV Heavy launch, so it is only fitting that the last Delta IV Heavy launch is dedicated to him. To our leader, mentor, and friend, Godspeed, Chip. MD out.
Minus 12 minutes. MEQ, initiate retract data logger just prior to the L7 pole. Roger.
It's the Delta IV Heavy.
After liftoff, the Delta IV Heavy will head east from Space Launch Complex 37. Here's a look at today's ascent.
To mitigate the fireball created by the hydrogen-burning Delta IV Heavy rocket, the staggered engine start sequence begins with ignition of the launch table HBOs, burning off the excess hydrogen injected into the flame duct.
ULA is still very much around. They switched to the Vulcan Centaur with the, so that's their new operational rocket.
RS-68A engines ignite, generate more than 2.1 million pounds of total thrust to lift the 1.6 million pound triple-core rocket off the pad. Shortly after liftoff, Delta begins a pitch over to attain the proper flight path while minimizing the pressure the vehicle experiences during flight. Delta then reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound, followed by the rocket reaching maximum dynamic pressure as it travels through Earth's atmosphere. With propellant depleted in the port and starboard boosters, the engines shut down and the boosters jettisoned to shed their weight. The remaining booster engine then throttles to full power to maximize performance against gravity losses. Once propellant levels deplete in the center booster, the engine shuts down and the booster is jettisoned from the second stage. The vehicle now weighs approximately 6% of what it did at liftoff. Following jettison of the center booster, the Delta Cryogenic Second Stage, or DCSS, main engine ignites. During ascent, NROL-70 is protected inside a 5-meter diameter metallic payload fairing. After traveling through the densest part of Earth's atmosphere, the payload fairing is jettisoned. The Delta IV Cryogenic Second Stage carries the last payload to launch on a Delta IV rocket to its final orbital destination, where it will begin its national security mission.
As we can continue the countdown to launch, let's
Okay, so we'll let them talk about their thing. The reason that they're orange naturally reflects the sunlight, so that's part of it. Also, the foam insulation that they use for things like the Artemis tanks or the Space Shuttle main tank, or this specific Delta IV Heavy tank, it actually absorbs the sunlight, so it starts a much fairer color, and it absorbs the sunlight, and it turns it a orange color. But naturally, it's because it reflects sunlight, keeps the cryo liquid cooler, whereas a white doesn't, or a black is obviously going to absorb all that all those light beams and warm up the tanks. So it's partially because that's the color of the insulation, partially because it reflects some of the sunlight to keep those tank fluids cool, and partially because they sit outside and it absorbs sun, and it actually kind of turns the color of the paint just a little bit. So
out of the northwest, temperature is about 72 degrees, and hopefully we'll be able to keep those winds down just enough that we'll be able to see the launch of our Delta IV Heavy this afternoon. Back to you, Andrea.
We remain in the planned hold as we continue towards liftoff. In a few moments, launch conductor Scott Barney will pull the launch team for the final go to pick up the count. 28 engineers and managers are pulled for system status and readiness to proceed. This is the final status check for all Delta vehicle systems, ground systems, spacecraft, and the U.S. Space Force Eastern Range. The vehicle system readiness pull includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, and flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as Scott Barney performs the final pulling.
So the poll is a good sign. It means we're proceeding forward, but we're still holding at 4 minutes for at least another 3-4 minutes.
Status
So-
check to proceed with terminal count. First stage systems, propulsion. Go. Hydraulics. Go. Locks. Go. LH2. Go. Second stage systems, locks. Go. LH2.
Go.
Electrical systems, airborne. Go. Ground. Go. Facility. Go. RFFTS. Go. Flight control. Go. COM. Go. GCQ.
Go.
Operation support. Go. Pneumatics. Go. Umbilicals. Go. HAZGAS. Go. ECS.
Go.
Radar monitor. Go. Mechanical engineering. Go. Quality. Go. Ops safety manager. Go. UA safety officer. Go. Vehicle system engineer. Go. Anomaly chief. Go. Range coordinator.
Clear to proceed.
Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission director.
You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count. ALC. Verify T0 is set for 18:45:00.
Verified.
MEQ. Establish swing on lock pins. Pull.
Active.
So we have a go for launch, ladies and gentlemen, to watch the last ever
Polling is
Delta
complete
IV
and the
Heavy.
team is go for launch. From T-minus 4 minutes until liftoff, you'll hear Scott Barney and the team performing the final steps in the countdown procedure. Several critical activities occur in the final minutes before launch, including verifying fuel tank levels and pressures in the 3 boosters and the DCSS, in addition to arming the flight termination system. At T-minus 1 minute, the Range Operations Commander confirms the range is in a green condition for launch. At T-minus 15 seconds, the launch table HBOs at the base of the rocket are ignited to burn off excess hydrogen. At T-minus 7 seconds, the starboard engine is ignited. At T-minus 5 seconds, the port and center engines are ignited. Once the Delta IV Heavy lifts off, you'll hear flight commentator Rob Gannon providing launch vehicle ascent data.
So for what it's worth, the NROL is paying about $440 million for today's launch in rocket. So this is a 72 meter tall, 5 meter in diameter rocket. And it's a width of 15 meters because of the 3 boosters side by side. Has a mass of about 733,000 kilos. It's capable of taking 28,790 kilos to low Earth
This is
orbit.
Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
So we should, at any point, get
T-minus 4 minutes and counting.
Hold, hold, hold. This is flight control. We have a CCLS red line fault at T-minus 3 minutes and 58 seconds.
LC switch not ready.
So there's
All
a
personnel
fault,
go to recycle steps for operation 90.
red line fault. So there's problem with some kind of system on the vehicle.
Okay, LC switch is not ready.
Flight control is ready to set clock to T-minus 4 and holding.
Roger. ALC reset countdown clock to T-minus 4 minutes and holding.
Roger. LC flight control, SS BAP inactive, and SCS in pre-flight mode.
Roger.
Sounds like they're going to cycle and try and go back through.
And properly evaluate LOX recycle and report if ready to restart.
4800. Roger. Red line that we've.
OSM, place SRM ignition switch to disable position.
SRM ignition disabled.
ALC, count. Disregard.
LC countdown clock has been reset to T-4 and holding.
Roger. For step 90, all stations recycle systems back, T-4 holding in configuration. Recycle occurred at T-3 minutes, 58 seconds. Report status at completion.
Sorry, I'm trying to listen in. It doesn't look,
LC fuel 1.
it doesn't sound
Go
great.
fuel 1.
Substep golf. CBC LH2 inerting is active. Excuse me. LH2 conditioning is active.
Roger.
LC FTS.
Go.
Substat Juliet FTS safe and external.
Roger.
LC LOX 2.
Go.
Second stage LO2 conditioning active.
Roger.
LC LOX 1.
Go.
CBC LOX conditioning active.
Roger.
LC ECS.
Go.
ECS set point stable.
Roger.
LC fuel 2.
Go.
Second stage LH2 conditioning active.
Roger.
LC SYS.
Go.
GC3 ready.
Roger.
LC has gas.
Go.
Step Foxtrot has gas ready. And as MEQ, should I reinstall lock pins?
Yes, let's install pins.
Roger.
Okay, so they're reinstalling
LC AV.
hold down pins. That's not
First
good.
substep Papa. Vehicle external.
Roger.
LC Prop 101.
Go.
All systems are stable.
Roger.
LC flight control.
Go flight control.
Step 180, substep kilo, flight control ready.
Roger.
It's with the sequence of the valve
LC
opening
MEQ. Go.
for the flow of
Substep
liquid
Oscar,
hydrogen.
TSM and swing arm systems ready.
Roger.
And substep alpha, pneumatic pressures stable.
Roger.
So they're giant bolts that actually hold the rocket to the base. They're not incredibly stable on their own, so they actually they bolt and pin them down to the launch platform, remove the pins when it's about to fire, and they're gonna reinsert the pins. So, not that they can't be removed again, but it's an actual physical pin. I'll see if I can't find a picture of them. They're pretty sizable.
LC HOE. Go. Hydraulic system stable.
Actually, I have a picture of one from IRL. Let me look.
Delta mission control at T-4 minutes and holding. The planned hold has been extended. We will pass on more information as it becomes available.
Detanking.
Detanking. So they're gonna scrub the mission. I
And
don't
LD
think there's
just
cycle
confirmed
time.
we're in a scrub declaration for 24-hour turnaround.
There we go. Scrub 24-hour turnaround.
Roger.
So they're gonna detank and scrub the launch of the Delta IV Heavy.
GELC.
We'll have to wait yet another day.
Verify TISR status for India. TISR ready. Roger. All right, team. We've given direction. Recycle is now complete. We get direction to proceed into detanking.
Yep. So that's confirmed.
Okay, for the team, we'll be or stand by.
This is Delta Mission Control. It's confirmed that we will not continue with the NROL-70 launch activities today. We have a 24-hour recycle. Our next launch attempt will be tomorrow at 1:37 p.m. Eastern. For up-to-date information, please visit ulalaunch.com. I'm Andrea Linhoff. Thanks for joining us.
So that's unfortunate, but it happens. I will show you that that photo though. They're nuclear acorns. But we'll have to wait one more day at least for the final flight of the Delta IV Heavy. Like I said, it was scrubbed from yesterday, but so this is a shuttle pin. So it's a shuttle hold down bolt. Some of them are designed to shear. This one was not. But this is the size that you're talking about. It's pretty they're pretty good sized and solid, and they actually physically hold the rocket to the site. So, but we're not going to get one. We're not going to get a launch today. So until next time, we'll have to wait to say go Delta Heavy, go ULA, and watch a rocket. I will definitely cover this one when we get another launch date and time. So keep your eye out for that. As always, thanks for watching. Please hit that like button on your way out. And until next time, take care, y'all.